Hi everybody. Well, last episode we made a platform for our cobble works and our sieve works and our smeltery. And this episode, as promised, we're going to work on a platform for machinery. And getting into machinery shouldn't be too hard. We can just crank up a lava generator and hook up some pipes from the crucibles and crank it up, but that's not the crazy anyway. I'm going to start with a Stirling generator this time. After all, there's no shortage of wood, so that should make it easy to come up with charcoal to cycle back into the generator. And that should do just great for the time being, at least for our first few machines. Once we're ready to add more stuff to this, we'll be able to use the alloy smelter to produce some wiring. Of course, the good thing about using a Stirling generator is that we have such a ready source of wood. It's really the most plentiful resource that we have, and the most easily expandable. And now that we've got that, we can work on transferring energy to the next machines we plan to make. And energy conduits. But it looks like my next trick is going to be actually expanding this platform some more, so I'll get to work on that. So we've got our Stirling generator generating Stirlings and our alloy smelter smelting alloys. And it's time to work on some other things. And I think that I will start with a cobble generator generating cobbles. And an auto hammer automatically hammering. And an auto sieve automatically sieving. as soon as I make the right kind of glass for it. And autosieve. And a few transfer nodes should complete the project here. So we have our cobble gen, our auto hammer, and auto sieve. And transfer nodes. And I guess I need pipes going between them all. That's odd. I thought they would hook up automatically. They sort of do. In a sort of odd way. Okay, and so now all we need is power for those. Which should be about the easiest thing for this. And power. And we need a mesh. I've got a few that I'm not using anymore though. All right, there we have our auto sieving setup. So now that we've established that I'm going to be running things off of charcoal, I need a good supply of wood, which means I need a tree farm. Which in this case, I think means that I need Steve's carts. And I believe that this one is going to need engines, a woodcutter, and some storage. It's been a long time since I've played with Steve's carts, actually. But I think I can fumble my way through it. So I guess we'll start with a cart hull of standard. So 7 iron, no problem. And sticks. And standard hole. And next we'll want to add an engine of some kind. And something that runs on charcoal would probably be best. So we'll go with a standard coal engine. Or I may just go with a tiny coal engine because the modular cost is much lower and so is the power. And I don't think this thing will have to run quickly. So yeah, I'll go with a tiny coal engine. And tiny coal engine. And some side chests and a woodcutter should complete it. And I believe at this point I just need to throw in some fuel. And we'll make some extra fuel for the generator. Okay, looks like we're ready to go. And looks like this will be done in about 10 minutes. And wood cutting cart. Assuming, of course, I did this right. It's quite possible that I didn't. I haven't messed with Steve's carts a whole lot, really. But anyway, I'm going to lay a track and some dirt and see if I can't get it properly lit. And then we'll be ready to start this up. Oh my goodness, what am I thinking? Light this thing up and then wait till morning. I could have got all the way out there and been surrounded by creepers. That would have been stupid. And woodcart railroad. Can it really be that simple? Okay, so I want to throw some saplings in here and some fuel in here. And then we'll be ready to go. Saplings. Fuel. No, you're not supposed to. That was not according to plan. Okay, so yeah, for future notice, don't shift-click the saplings in first. That's a mistake. But yeah, this seems to be going perfectly so far. Not exactly sure what I'm going to do about refueling, but I'll figure that out. But yeah, we'll let this run a few times around and see what happens. I decided to give it a little bit of a jump start. Is it doing it, or is it just stuck? No, it's chopping down the leaves. Okay. Okay, so first it chops down the leaves, then it chops down the wood. And it's probably only going slow because I put a tiny engine in it. But so far, seems to be going pretty nicely. You know, perhaps I should make this track longer, because this can sometimes go a lap or two around the track without actually having to chop down any trees. And that would give more trees more chances to grow. But what I really want to know is what happens when it runs out of coal. Given the equipment I've given it, probably the best thing for it to do would be to throw wood into its burner and burn that. As long as, of course, it's building up more wood than it's burning. Anyway, I'm going to wait around until it runs out of coal and see what it does. Okay, well, that answers that question. When it runs out of fuel, it just sits there. Which I guess gives me an opportunity to unload it. And throw some more wood into the cooker. Alright, we'll let that cook a stack and put that in the cutter, and then I think it's about time I figured out how to automate this. Okay, so I've done a little bit of looking up about what I want to do, and really the first thing I want to do is get rid of these trees over here, because they're really starting to get in the way, and I no longer need them. And I want to automate loading and unloading of this cart which I can do with a cargo manager and an advanced detector rail. So cargo manager takes a bunch of iron panes and a large dynamic pane. Okay, so about 5 redstone and looks like a bunch of iron. And some chest panes. Okay. Alright, gonna melt down some iron and make some panes and be right back with you. Okay, so we have our advanced detector rail, and looks like that'll be occupied for a few minutes, so I have time to do this and then stick this on here. And the rail is on the green side. And what do we want to do? We want it to transfer from the cart storage slots. And we each want to transfer to the cart to engines. And let's see if we can't also get saplings. Okay, transferring from the cart. Alright, so now I'm going to get all the charcoal I can and stick it in there to transfer to the cart. And then we'll see what happens when this comes around. Assuming it hasn't already run out of fuel. Alright, we'll stick 4 pieces of charcoal in there and see if that gets it over here. Okay, we're almost back here to the cargo manager. And transferring saplings. And transferring wood and apples. And lots of it. And transferring fuel to the cart. Very nice. And as I expected, it's collecting saplings from the trees to plant down. although not actually enough to replace what it's using, so I'm going to tell it to stop collecting from saplings. We'll just change sides to a side that we're not using. And then when it swings around, it should replant these saplings. Alright, and there's those extra saplings. So, fuel is not going to be a problem. So, there we are. Power and fuel, and Steve's carts to boot. And Steve's carts is actually a lot easier than I expected it to be. Next episode, probably mob farms. Until then, have some fun, build something cool, and have a nice day.